We would be honored if you would join us.
Before I start, if you could give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. This is the way.
Hey Star Wars fans and action figure collectors, welcome back to another Star Wars Black Series review. This one was a little bit unexpected in terms of timing wise. This one came all the way from Germany in just less than a week, which is just absolutely ridiculous. It is Mandalorian from Book of Boba Fett, Glavis Ringworld. Some people are calling it Glavis Ringworm, which is just, that just makes me laugh. Yeah, thrilled to be getting this one today. I was not expecting it to show up so damn quick. Amazon sort of said would be the 16th of Feb, and today's the 5th. So yeah, really excited to crack this one open. And yeah, I'm going to do a little comparison with one of the previous releases of Mando and a little bit of a custom one that I've done, just to sort of show what we're up with here. I think it's going to be a good one. Yeah, been really looking forward to this release. So let's bust them open and have a look. All right, folks, here is Mando. He's looking sick. Really, really excited about this one. Finally having him out of the box and in hand. This is a great looking Mando. Is he perfect? No, he's not. He's fine. If I wanted perfect, I'd fork out $400 or $500 for a hot toy. But we're talking about Black Series, and we're going to talk about what we've been given here. So I'm thrilled. I'm really thrilled after all these years. It's finally, we've got a good looking Mando. So he does come with his Darksaber here. Difference with this one is it does have the little D-ring loop at the end, so you can clip it onto his belt. So nice slight retool of the original blade there, because I'm pretty sure Moff Gideon's didn't have that before. Could be mistaken. I didn't take a close look. I've literally just opened this thing up and I've laid it all out in front. We do have Mando's blaster pistol, and if we look at his original, I'm pretty sure, oh no, it's a new sculpt as well. So a few more little details, some wood grain in the handle. So not a huge leap, but you know, it's an upgrade nonetheless. Still sort of softer plastic, but it looks good. It's a nice sort of metallic color. And this time we are getting his little vibro knife, which is sweet. I imagine that will slot in to his boot. And we do have a little slot down there next to the leg where that will just sort of slot in there, so that's nice. Hopefully that's not going to fall out at all at any stage. But that's cool. And his jetpack, which is might be a new sculpt. I think it is a new sculpt. It is. So that's nice, and it's actually painted in silver this time, which is awesome. Either that or it's cast in silver, like the silver sort of plastic, whereas the original never got painted, which was a bit of a bummer. But that's nice, some nice details. The rockets will the jets will hold the fire effects that we've had with Boba Fett and stuff like that. So it looks like it'll slot nicely into his back. That's a nice snug fit there. So that looks good. That looks really good. Super duper impressed so far. Alright, let's take a look at the figure. So one thing that's bothered me since, I guess, 2019 with the release of the original Mandalorian is just the helmet. You know, it just wasn't a good mold from the get-go. It just didn't, the form wasn't great, the shape wasn't good. I do have this one here, the whatever, I can't remember the name of the planet, the ice one, but this is still using that original mold.
You can sort of see there's no sort of taper down from the back to the front, which was my issue with most of them. Even some of the Mandos I've gotten over the years have had, you know, literally a flat bucket, and it just looked bad. This one is probably one of the better ones from the old mold, but you know, it's still not great. But I think they've got it this time. I think they've truly got it. So this is sort of my custom that I did a couple of years ago now. Now this was using that 5 POA Mando helmet, which was just popped on and stuck down with a heap of blue tack, because honestly it was a better shape. It's sort of got that sort of forward sort of taper, that sort of slope down. Yeah, it looks a little small, but it did its job. So I can sort of retire this guy to the back of the shelf a little bit more, perhaps. And yeah, obviously my custom soft goods that I put on, you know, it's worked out fine. This has been a decent Mando for me for a while. So I'm very happy with the upgrade though. Because as you see the shape of the helmet, it just, a lot of folks sort of talking about the silhouette of this figure, the way he just sort of looks when he's standing there. He looks like Mando. He looks the way he should. Particularly, you know, the accurate armor. You know, this is a mold they're going to be able to play with for a little while, and hopefully, you know, re-release some older styles of Mando, like from season 1, with sort of newer molds. You know, you got the softer plastic pauldrons on the shoulders. You know, they've sort of got the softer plastic over armor bit that they're doing with a lot of figures, so they've all got the sort of similarly base sort of bone structure underneath, so to speak. And even just the sort of the paint colors of this guy looks a lot nicer. Got a little bit extra shine to it. Again, not quite the vac metal that we'd all love to see, but honestly, I don't know if I'd want vac metal. I think this has got a nice enough shine onto it. And you go vac metal, it begins hard to take photographs of, which is something I like doing with my figures. So, but yeah, the belt's all new. As you can sort of see, there's a little hook there on the back. I'm just going to unblade that and just sort of see how well that sort of sits on the back. Yeah, it just sort of hangs on there loosely. It's not super tight or anything, so good for display, but yeah, I wouldn't sort of go running around with this thing with that just sort of latched on. And to be fair, this Mando's probably going to be holding it on the shelf anyway, so. But yeah, it just feels good. It's just a good feeling figure. Articulation's all there, which is great. I'll go through that shortly. But yeah, like I said with the helmet, that's the winning part here. And obviously they've sort of cast that with, you know, maybe the future intentions to be able to remove it. I don't really care for that feature. I know I've got one of my Dinjarans on display with the Pedro head sculpt, but you know, I think it's more of a nod to the character that he doesn't remove his helmet. He's a character that's been as popular as he's become without having a face. Soft goods is really nice too. Sort of got that laser cut, sort of rips and tears, and the way it's sort of folded up around and tucked into the front of the armor. Probably needs to be tucked in just a little bit, so I'll probably get a little screwdriver or something, and just sort of poke that in there a little bit more, just to tuck it in there a little bit nicer, or pull it out a little bit more. Who knows? I'll muck around with this guy for a little bit today. Working holster for the blaster pistol, and that fits in there nicely. That looks good. So that's a nice new one in comparison to the old one there, which has got that little strap. Not keen on those sort of peg straps. They look a bit crap. But otherwise, you know, he's got the different sort of plates of armor, which look like they're individual pieces. So again, Hasbro's planned this one accordingly. You'd be able to replace that with something like that and redo an older version of Mandalorian or future versions of Mandalorian. So there's the legs. Again, nicely done. Still love that despite, you know, having replaced most of his armor with Beskar, there's still little bits like, you know, that's from Zero, Q90, the shin guard there, thigh guard. So it's apart from that droid. You know, his boots don't match. He's got one sort of shin guard there, which is different. He's still wearing the Shore Trooper hand gauntlets, hand armor there that he's had since season 1. And again, they've sort of planned this accordingly as well on the back, so you can still have the Ambin pulse rifle plugged in behind that. So, you know, you will be able to get that Mandalorian rifle in the back there if you want to display him as such. So I think this is a promising way forward for Black Series Mandalorian figures. Yeah, like I said, there's just a few little hints in this figure that Hasbro planned accordingly for the future. They want to make the most of this, which I don't blame them for. You know, it's definitely something that's going to continue making them money. So cannot blame them for a second for doing that. Now I just want to see whether this... There we go. That was just a little bit tight there on the arm, but that armor will move there too, which is great because it was a little bit around the back, considering where the little rocket is, the whistling birds. So I dare say that side will be similar too. Just a little bit tight. There we go. If it is too tight, you know, a bit of hot water, blow a hairdryer on it, it will come loose, soften up the plastic. But yeah, in terms of articulation, he does have ball joint in the head. If we just look under there, so there's a ball and socket in the top of the neck too, bottom of the neck. Ball and socket in the shoulders. Got the hinge up there as well. So you get all that nice butterfly movement, which is fantastic. Just amazing. There is hinge in the elbows. There's a swivel at the top of the gauntlet. There's a swivel at the wrist. There is the hinge joint there, which is great. Coming down, it's got the torso joint there. There's a good range of movement there. Ball joints in the hips. He still has the thigh joints, the thigh swivel there behind the armor, which is cool. You know, they've sort of gone away from that with a lot of figures, but maybe they're reusing some parts there. I'm just going to compare. No, they're obviously different. This one's got the pin legs, so whether it's from a different figure, I'm not sure. A joint at the hinge at the knees. And it looks like there is a twist at the top of the boots. Whether it's on this one, no, it's not on that one. It's just on that one. So that one's all one piece. And then we've got the hinge at the ankles and the rocker in the foot. So fantastic articulation there. For what is, you know, just a really, really nice Mandalorian action figure. Yeah, like I've said a couple of times now, I'm thrilled to have this one. I dare say had this one arrived last year, it probably would have made my top 10. More than likely would have made my top 10 if I'm honest. Kind of a no-brainer. But yeah, very stoked to have this Mandalorian in hand now. Looks good. Let's arm him up. Darksaber and all. You know, this is pretty good for a season 3 version as well. Didn't change much, if at all, from Book of Boba Fett to season 3. Obviously, ended up giving the Darksaber back to Bo-Katan. A little bit loose there, but again, these aren't Hot Toys. So they're not going to be completely flaw-free. There we go. That holds nicely there. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please drop a comment down below. I'm blown away by this figure. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And stay tuned for some more videos next week. Only dropping the one video. It is my Star Wars room tour for 2024. So I hope you can hang out and enjoy that. It is about an hour long, so it's going to be, that's my content for next week while I take a break from some other bits and pieces. So we'll see you then. Until the next video, may the Force be with you always.